Hello, and welcome to the next ReeVlog. Again, 2 days in a row. Really in for a treat. I realised yesterday's vlog didn't actually touch on the main topic that I intend to touch upon going forward, outside of a little bit on Kung Fu. Health, well-being and fitness, baby! So I figured I would go through that, especially because I had something arrive today that is relevant. Shazam! Now, you may or may not know what this is. If you don't know what this is, it probably looks quite strange. This is a skipping rope, or at least half a skipping rope. This is the other half of the skipping rope. This should enable me to skip in my bedroom. So they're going to stay in here. I've got a skipping rope in my bag, I've got a skipping rope in my car, I've got a skipping rope in one of my 2 exercise bags. I think it's the gym one, not the Kung Fu one, and I've got a skipping rope at my mum's. Because skipping, great exercise. It's cardio, and it's a light full body endurance workout. Mostly the calves and the forearms, but it is full body if you're doing it with certain types of posture and whatnot. So, yay. I haven't done it a lot recently, but I did a little bit using the skipping rope in my bag last week. And I'm thinking, if I don't have to leave, I don't have to go anywhere, I can just do the skipping. And in theory, it shouldn't be too loud. You should land pretty quiet, nice and controlled. I should be able to do it early in the morning. I should be able to do it late at night. I should be able to do it during the daytime without disturbing my downstairs neighbours too much. Which is the reason why I haven't done jump squats, because whilst they should be controlled, as I tire they're going to get less and less controlled, whereas doing skipping for cardio benefits, I'm not going to have that same level of fatigue problem, and also it is a less heavy exercise in general. I am also aware I've got my good friend here, Skullgore. Woo, I'm sure his name changes every time, but whatever. 20 kilos. I swear I'm getting weaker in some regards because he seems heavier. But say it too much. The continual practice with Skullgore here will help, I'm sure, to struggle less, I guess. So goblet squats and overhead press, and eventually kettlebell halos with him. But for now, I'm going to stick to hammer halos. I don't know if there's a better term. I don't actually know how heavy that is, but whatever, it gets the mobility aspect. So I'm going to do that whilst I build a little bit more core shoulder stability, core and shoulder stability, and then I can move on to using my buddy here. Hoorah! Yes. What else was there? I also now have a massage gun, one of those thingers, courtesy of my brother, because he had 2. He got a cheap one to test them out, and then a while later he got a second one, and I asked him a couple of weeks ago, hey, you've got 2, do you need both? And he gave me one, so that's good. I was going to offer to buy it, but since he offered to give it to me, I didn't mention it. Okay, other fitnessy things. Recently I had these arrive. Swole Animal, SWHOLE Animal, is like a YouTube channel, Instagram page, whatever, guy. Dude's name's Sam, I think. And he goes around making stuff to help his fitness journey. He's like a rock climber or whatever, and it seems like a very successful business. I think these are the best toe spreaders I've come across so far. It's got another type that is just out of reach, so I'm not going to bother going to get it. But that other type adds pulling force, so it sort of goes around your big toe and your little toe. There are little straps, it hooks around your heel. There's little straps that you can pull on so that it'll pull your toes apart. That way, it won't do anything to the middle ones, but if you pull the other two apart, it's going to make space. I've got those as well, but these ones are easier to wear for active exercise because there's little hooks on the side of the other ones, and I plan on doing a bit of kung fu, so I don't want to accidentally damage one of the hooks or have one of the hooks damage me. Otherwise, on fitness stuff, one of the two gyms that I'm currently a member of has a hand dynamometer, and my grip strength pretty average apparently. When I first did it, oh no, I may have a bogey. I'm not sure, but I don't want to show it on camera. So I'm going to pause this and go off screen. Or, well, I'm going to go off screen and then pause this. Then blow my nose, because you probably don't want to hear that. And then I'll be back. Scoot, boot, scoot, boot, scoot, and baby. Drive me crazy. My obsession with the Western, my dance floor date. Okay, I'm back. And whilst I was off screen and paused, I grabbed one of the other toe thingies. So it goes like so, that goes around the back, and then there's these little hooky hooks. Well, there's one little hooky hook on the big toe side. So you can make it, once it's around your heel, you can bring it up here for maximum pulling, or you can have it down here for minimum pulling. By the way, it goes whoop. So there you go. As I was saying though, hand dynamometer. I went to the gym on my work break yesterday. Thankfully there weren't any alarms or anything, so I actually got a bit of time to do a bit of gym, bit of kung fu, have some food. It was actually quite a pleasant break. So going, yes, my grip strength had gone down, and there is a pretty commonly held belief that if your grip strength has decreased, it's a sign that you need to take it easier. So I'm debating getting a hand dynamometer. This year, my year of foundation, is partially a year of getting rid of material possessions that I don't need. Some of them I don't want to get rid of, like our good friend Kilgore here, my new skipping rope, my old skipping rope, computer, and then there are things that I probably don't want, like, need, but I have just for the odd occasion. So I've got my guitar, or previously my mum's guitar, which is, you know, not something I play very often. I have to tune it like every time because I don't play it very often. Many books that I've read or not read, respectively. I've got a load of D&D books, various weight plates that just aren't attached to things. I've got my super duper heavy, I say super duper heavy, the heaviest dumbbell that I could configure before I got my 20 kilo or 10 kilo plates. I got my 10 kilo plates on another one, which makes it a 40 kilo dumbbell. So that also doesn't get used because I'm just not strong enough to use it, but I've got them there. Used to be on a barbell. I've got them there for if I become strong enough, which I will eventually do, but whether that'll be whilst I still live here, who knows. So I am trying to reduce my general material possessions, but I'm also a sentimental person, so there's a lot of stuff in the loft. I've got my safe full of sentimental possessions, etc. Other examples of things I keep out of sentiment. Warhammer, of course. Like, I've got Warhammer minis. I don't play, I don't paint, but I've got them, and I like them, so I keep them. But the reason to try and reduce in my year of foundation is so that I can make sure that I know what the core things for me to keep if when I move to another country are, because obviously I'm not going to take 100 books with me. However, I will theoretically want to take or sell and get again whilst there, potentially, things like my skipping ropes, fitness, woo. So most of my acquisitions in terms of material possessions this year are going to be fitness related or health and well-being at the very least. But there is more to talk about before I end off or go on a huge tangent. This is a Tipex pen. This is a piece of laminated paper, and I moved it that quickly so it'll be hard for people to read because it is my attempts at something for Kung Fu. And part of the Kung Fu I did yesterday, I went through and found 2 of these things that I was trying to put together. So on my next belt I have to do hand, arm and leg strikes, which is a hand strike, so any part of the hand, so long as it is a strike that I've done, it's on my syllabus, blah 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 blah, which includes this part here, an arm strike, which goes from here up to here, but again has to be a strike on the syllabus, etc., with the same arm specifically, followed by a leg strike. And the idea is for it to quote unquote flow, and for it to be like to correct target areas using openings. They're all going to be quote unquote applied against the same strike against me, so I know where the other person's going to be and all that jazz. But I went through a couple, so I went and made 16 of them back in May? January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, May. Which was not long after I did my last grading. I think I found out that this was on this syllabus, and then I just like immediately was like, bam, let's do it. And whilst I think most of them are reasonably good, some of them are okay, 2 of them just didn't work, and I don't know whether that's just because I can't see the vision that me of 4 months ago saw, or whether I was just being an idiot. But either way round, I have to put new ones on here, and I came up with a couple of new ones, though I have asked my instructor about one of those new ones directly, because I'm a little dubious whether he'll think it's okay or not. But yeah, just Tipexed out those 2, and then when that dries, I will add the new ones in. Whew. That was the main other thing, but there was one more thing I was going to say. I don't remember what it was though. Regardless, the whole like chest infection-y stuff, I am putting more time and effort into specifically resolving that, which means currently I have 3 to 4 main projects outside of staying alive, which is like work, hygiene, food, etc. They are Kung Fu, as always, fitnessy, healthy, strengthy, endurancey, powery stuff, exercise mostly, but that is also combined partially with Kung Fu, but with nutrition and my supplements, which I have loads of right now, but I figured probably better to have slightly more different supplements than I need, and then I can work my way back down, than to have not enough and not have the capacity at present to keep working. Fighting off what ails me, part of which is I'm going to try and make more liberal use of my inhaler, but annoyingly I have to like rinse my mouth out with mouthwash ideally, but if not, like warm water after using it. And I don't have any mouthwash here. I've got some in my car, so that'll be okay. I can get that out, bring that up, but then I need to have some in the car in case I use my inhaler whilst I am out. Otherwise, apparently I might get thrush in my mouth, which I don't want. And then yeah, I'm also going to be doing like steam inhalations, postural, I can't remember the correct word, but attempts to remove phlegm from my body. And the last thing is writing. Oh yeah, because I am still writing that book that me and my friend were working on our book separately, but keeping each other accountable, as it were. I did 815 words today, and I'm pretty happy with that. Ideally, I want to reach a point where I'm doing like 1,000 words a day most days, because some days I do like 10. And I would really like to be like at around draft one, when like around Christmas time, probably. Heck, I could probably give draft one to my mother as a Christmas present, because she's constantly like, "Oh, when can I read it?" So I'd be like, "Hey, you want to proofread it? Here, here is a several hundred-page document. Have at it." We'll find out. But yeah, so I've got a lot of projects, and then obviously I've still got my Thursday D&Ds, which keep me busy on Thursdays, Monday game nights, various other social activities that thankfully are largely spread out. Keeping me busy. But yes, once I've kicked this illness in the butt, then I think it'll be still 4, but sleep will be the other one. I want to get to an average of at least 6 hours a night, because I'm not averaging even 6 hours a night at the minute. And yeah, obviously chronic fatigue makes you tired. Being sleepy and tired, that's it's a bad combination, especially when you're aiming to build. I'm currently working on my next yearly theme. It's currently sat at integrity, but I don't think that's what it's going to be, because this is foundation. I can't remember what last year was, but I think like perhaps structure next year, something along those lines, to build on the foundation that I'm building at the moment, to like an increase, because this year's been about decrease, like to bring everything down to the foundation so it could be built back up again without stopping momentum. Hard to do, but I'm doing it, and I'm quite happy with how this year's going as a whole, even if on a day-to-day basis it doesn't feel like there's a lot. I've got to not push myself too hard. Next year, and I'm going off topic a bit here, yearly theme, I want to be about growth, so to speak. Not like growth necessarily, but maybe a little bit smidge of that. But like building on what I've currently got. So growing as a person, growing stronger, faster, more knowledgeable, etc. If I can. But we'll see, because who knows? Maybe there'll be a civil war by then as well, given the current socio-economic, political climate, blah blah blah. Makes growth probably a little harder, but also maybe a little bit more necessary. Maybe the hammer will be used for more than just halos, eh? No, probably not. It's very impractical and probably not heavy enough to actually do that much damage, even if it were used as a weapon. Not that I would intend to do so. Regardless, though, that's a weird way to end, so I'm going to think of something else to say to end on a positive note, because I'm a big fan of positive notes. Yes, I have honey in my coffee, and I've made a coffee specifically because I think I'm having caffeine withdrawal symptoms, so I figured rather than have a tea, I'll have a coffee. We'll see whether it helps, and yeah, I know what I can do, because this is fitness, health focus mostly now. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and run through my mental checklist of my supplements. So I have my BCAAs and my creatine together in a drink. Then I have NMN, which I sometimes have but not always in a drink. I entirely forgot I had it, which is why I didn't have it very often. But now it's out. Maybe I'll have it more. We'll find out. I have vitamin C, zinc. I have vitamin D, K2. I have ashwagandha. I have collagen. I have inositol and choline. I think that's everything off the top of my head without going to check. Who knows? Regardless, though, if you supplement, what do you supplement with? Because, and why, I think that they're useful because our current diets are wild and our requirements are equally as wild, but I'm specifically aiming to focus on increased energy as well as recovery for tendons, because my old knee injury is playing up, and like 2, 3, 4 maybe weeks ago, my elbow injury randomly hurt for 2 days, like almost consistently, and then just went away again. And I don't know whether it was my actual elbow injury or if I like got a blood clot or something mild that was just causing pain in that area, but it was very unpleasant and I would rather avoid it. So whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna go because it's been over 20 minutes. And I need to do my daily exercise as well as drink my coffee because that's probably getting cold by now, and cold coffee tastes like stale bacon. So I'll catch you cats on the flip flop. Oh, goodbye.